Imagine Oracle Arena's roar distilled into a single heartbeat. Now imagine it silenced by the weight of what's about to drop, the possibility that the Golden State Warriors, the team engraved in our souls as the architects of Splash-dominated glory, may be on the verge of rewriting history once again by bringing in none other than NBA royalty Lebron James. Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with Splash-era passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat, because today we're diving headfirst into whispers that could shatter every assumption and redraw the NBA's landscape in Google's classic golden hue. Picture this. After the Warriors recently flipped the script with a jaw-dropping 17 trade involving Kevin Durant, sending a seismic shockwave through the league by moving one of the era's most prolific scorers away from the Bay. Insiders are now buzzing that Golden State's ambitions stretch even further right into the heart of Los Angeles Lakers territory, zeroing in on none other than LeBron James, whose $52.6 million player option and veteran presence suddenly make him the ultimate chess piece in a high-stakes game that could bring an unprecedented Big Three together with Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler. Sounds insane? Absolutely, but the pieces aren't just fantasy. They're falling into place with painstaking precision. Following the Durant trade, which netted the Warriors promising young prospects Alex Tui and Jemai Mashak, the front office hasn't just settled into rebuilding mode. They've created the financial flexibility and gathered the assets necessary to pull off a blockbuster that would ripple through every gym from Oakland to LA Sports Insider. Brady Klopfer of Golden State of Mind blew the lid off rumors suggesting that the Warriors could orchestrate a deal sending Jimmy Butler, the sharpshooting guardian of their current system, to the Lakers while welcoming LeBron James and, intriguingly, his son Bronny James into the fold. The salary math is almost eerily perfect. LeBron and Bronny's combined expenses fall just shy of Butler's salary by roughly $500,000, making this less a fantasy and more a feasible, albeit bold, proposition. But why would the Warriors gamble away chemistry with Jimmy, a player who fits like a glove with Curry's playstyle and has become a linchpin of their chase for a glass of championship glory since 2022? The answer lies in the tantalizing potential of what Curry and LeBron could ignite together. Remember the 2024 Olympics? Stephen Curry lighting up France with 8 threes in the gold medal game, LeBron flirting around a triple-double, the two MVPs forging a nearly perfect on-court synergy that had fans salivating over the prospect of reuniting stateside. Imagine a Western Conference backcourt that blends Curry's unrelenting splash and LeBron's relentless power and vision, bolstered by an insatiable Jimmy Butler-like competitor, or if the trade materializes, the pair morphing into a new Big Three, armed with an arsenal capable of dismantling defenses and rewriting the playoff script. And it's not just about the explosiveness of this new lineup. On a saga-deep level, this trade whispers of legacy shifts LeBron at 39. Yes, but still bringing 8 NBA championships of wisdom, grit, and leadership, perfectly complementing Curry's own golden era and Klay Thompson's silent but deadly precision, alongside rising talents like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody waiting in the wings. Could this be the silent pivot that eclipses even the Kevin Durant era? Are we witnessing a potential seismic shift that redefines the Warriors' approach from rebuild and resilience to ruthless championship assertion? Yet, with every thunderous possibility, there looms undeniable tension. LeBron's age and wear raise flags about long-term durability, and Butler's proven fit leaves no room to doubt the disruption trading him will cause in the team's chemistry and culture. Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, has already fueled the speculation fire by hinting at open doors within the Lakers front office for moves that could align with LeBron's evolving legacy and career priorities. And what about Curry, who only 2 years ago dismissed the idea of sharing a roster with LeBron, famously saying, "I'm good right now"? Could a title drought and the insatiable hunger for one more ring sway him to embrace this Hollywood blockbuster of a partnership. The Staples Center and Chase Center might soon be connected by more than just a fierce rivalry as the Warriors prepare for a future that could feature the king, himself donning Golden State blue and gold. Is it unprecedented hubris, a stroke of genius, or a gamble teetering on the knife edge of destiny? Every fan has a beating heart caught between the hope of revisiting the glory days and the fear of fracturing a legacy painstakingly built through sweat, tears, and clutch threes. Could this seismic trade bring back the "we believe" spirit that sparked the dynasty, or will it unleash cracks that shatter the foundation built by Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and the rest? The clock is ticking, the whispers are growing louder, and the Warriors front office is clearly rolling the dice with some of the highest stakes in recent NBA history. As a lifelong Dub Nation believer, my pulse is racing just writing this, wondering if this move is the catalyst that reignites the fire of dominance or the fracture that sends ripples through our shared dream. But what do you think? Is this the spark for a new dynasty or the crack in our legacy? Drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand. If the thought of Curry and LeBron carving up defenses in the same jersey made your chest stump like the first Oracle Arena buzzer beater, drop your wildest theory right now, because this ride is only just starting and every second counts. Look, Warriors fans, let's be brutally honest. This isn't just a basketball trade. It's a seismic tremor shaking the very soul of Dub Nation. We came into this decade vaulting over opponents with Splash Brothers' three-point rain suffocating, defense from Draymond, and the silent death of Klay's catch-and-shoot artistry. But now it feels like we're standing at a crossroads deeper than any we face, staring down the barrel of reinvention or collapse. That hypothetical Lebron-Curry tandem? It feels like an emotional double-edged sword slicing through our collective identity. On one side, you've got a man who helped build the modern NBA's very standards of greatness. LeBron James still boasting nearly 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists per game at 39 years old, an elder statesman whose impact commands entire locker rooms, whose playoff experience dwarfs anyone except Steph and Draymond, and who has the unyielding will to clutch a title like the runaway freight train that he is. But on the flip side, bro, trading Jimmy Butler. Butler, the fiery competitor, the relentless glue guy who seamlessly slid into our system since 22 means quitting on something that already works. Butler's numbers this season averaging over 21 points, with brutal defensive tenacity, and a chemistry that clicks with Curry's off-ball movement and Draymond's playmaking is no small matter to sacrifice. Is it worth tearing that apart just to chase the tantalizing chimera of a great big three? Because, let's not forget, chemistry isn't built overnight. We saw it painfully during the KD shuffle, how a change of a single giant star can shake the locker room vibrations, sending ripples into the spotlight and the trenches. What if LeBron's presence fractures that locker room harmony? What if the wheels start to wobble and our veterans can't rewire the system fast enough? Kerr is a mastermind, sure, adapting in game, slicing defenses with his tactical scalpel, but even he needs players who fit the mold, not just superstars imported as raw assets without the full buy-in. Remember Klay's 2022 comeback game? Facing that painful ACL tear and then watching him pour in buckets. He's the embodiment of resilience that the Warriors core is built on. But adding a superstar like LeBron is a completely different beast. This isn't just about hitting shots or making plays. It's about balancing egos and legacies that weigh more than gold in this Bay Area culture. And what about the rising generation? The Kumingas and Moody's, hungry, raw, talented. Kids who are still finding their lanes in a system that might suddenly warp overnight. Will LeBron's arrival mean more minutes for these youngsters, or will they be buried under a pile of championship pedigree veterans telling a different story? And where does Wiggins, our Swiss Army knife, who gave us countless thunderous putbacks and solidified his role at the wing fit into this new grand design? He's been a key puzzle piece on defense and transition offense, but will the scales tip too heavily towards old guard dominance? Then there's the Western Conference, let's talk about that pressure cooker. The Suns, Nuggets, Mavs, and indeed, a Lakers team still simmering under heavy star power aren't waiting around for the Warriors to figure this out. The standings are tighter than ever, and any disruption in our chemistry could cost the Warriors dearly at this very instant when every game feels like playoff war. Think about this. Does adding Lebron, whose massive player option eats up precious cap space and demands a role commensurate with his status, signal a desperate all-in move or a calculated reassertion of dominance? The Warriors once redefined modern basketball with "we believe," and then sculpted the KD-era juggernaut that stamped their legacy into history books with consecutive finals runs and rings. Are we on the edge of witnessing an even more audacious chapter, or are we courting disaster? Imagine the sting if this gamble backfires, if LeBron's age and wear tip the scale towards decline instead of resurgence, or if Jimmy Butler's departure turns Dub Nation's locker room from a fortress into a powder keg. The emotional fatigue after years of chasing rings, of agonizing finals losses, of riding the emotional roller coaster that comes with living and breathing Warriors basketball is real. How much more heartbreak can the core endure before this? Franchise's legendary soul cracks? And oh, the pressure on Steve Kerr, the man who steered us through dynasties, rebuilds, and record-setting seasons, suddenly faces perhaps the most volatile chapter of his coaching life. Will he welcome this Hollywood seismic shift or resist it at odds with the culture he's nurtured? Whispers from inside the front office suggest there's a split between visionaries who see this as the necessary phoenix rise and pragmatists who fear it's putting all our chips on a high-risk, low-reward bet. Fans remember the last time a massive trade rerouted our destiny. Remember how Durant's exit shook the earth beneath us and forced a decade of recalibration? Well, make no mistake, this LeBron scenario has that same seismic potential, maybe more. As someone who screamed for Baron Davis in the '07 madness, wept tears matching Steph's quiet torment through injuries in '22, and carried the flame through every clutch shot and heart-stopping buzzer beater, I'm telling you, this feels like the most electrifying crossroads we've faced as Dub Nation. This could either be the resurrection of a dynasty with a shot call that echoes for years to come, or it could be the beginning of an unraveling that makes the days of waiting for a title feel even longer. And that's not even factoring in the wild card variables, how the media circus will orbit around this team, how every post-game presser will become a minefield, how even one losing streak could turn the spotlight into a magnifying glass and burn through what little cohesion remains. LeBron is a walking empire. His gravity changes how defenses move, how cameras shift, how narratives spin. Are we ready to surrender the uniquely gritty, humble, Bay-anchored identity that Dub Nation has crafted for the glitz, glare, and glamour of a global phenomenon? And yet, how do you say no to that level of greatness? How do you turn away from the possibility that maybe, just maybe, Curry and LeBron could write a final chapter that echoes louder than any rivalry or past heartbreak? What if this time they rise together? And here's the kicker. There are murmurs that LeBron doesn't just want to win. He wants to mentor, to shape the next era, to leave a legacy not just in banners but in blueprints. Could Golden State be that place? Could we be the team that balances the weight of legends with the hunger of youth? The team that doesn't just chase rings but reinvents what it means to be a dynasty? Or do we lose our way in the process, unraveling everything that made this team more than just a roster, more than just a scheme made it a brotherhood? So now it's your turn. Drop your rawest, no-holds-barred thoughts in the comments below. No filters, no talking heads, just us, fans living and breathing every moment and passion that wraps itself around this team's fate. I'll be there, riding every wave you throw down, because whether this move ascends us like the Golden State squad from Legends or fractures us into fragments nobody sees coming, one thing's for sure, the saga isn't over yet, and our hearts are still beating, still hoping, still daring to imagine. This is more than basketball. This is faith. This is identity. This is Warriors basketball, and no matter what path we take next, we're going to ride it together loud, loyal, and fearless.